Something massive just went down in 2025, and barely anyone noticed. Quietly and strategically, Canada has become the new sanctuary for 7 of America's closest allies. But they're not running away in protest. They're making calculated long-term moves. Why? Because a string of impulsive decisions coming out of Washington has turned once dependable partnerships into high-risk gambles. So now, instead of gambling on U.S. unpredictability, billions are streaming into Canada, a steady, trusted ally few saw coming. Some of the countries on this list will be familiar. Others? They'll leave your jaw on the floor. But don't skip the last one. It ties everything together and shows how Canada just rewrote the rules of global Western power. Let's break it down. Number 7. Italy. In March, when Washington slapped fresh tariffs on Italian wine and olive oil, Rome rerouted $8.2 billion originally intended for U.S. ventures, channeling it into Canada's clean tech and innovation sectors instead. At the same time, unexpected shakeups in U.S. defense procurement had Italian officials searching for steadier ground. Ottawa delivered fast. April saw the launch of the Italo-Canadian Innovation Pact. It included $3.1 billion from Italy's top aerospace players to build a shared drone research center in Montreal, fusing Italian aviation with Canada's AI prowess. But it doesn't stop at drones. These systems will tackle Arctic rescues, remote logistics, and even space debris cleanup. Another $2.5 billion is backing a green hydrogen pilot in Nova Scotia, using Italian electrolyzed tech exported via Halifax to kickstart a transatlantic clean fuel route. And in Toronto, $2.6 billion from Italy's luxury giants is establishing a Made in Italy district blending world-class design with Canada's supply chain technology, redefining smart fashion and textiles. Every deal includes 15-year stability protections to shield against future policy swings. Italy brings the legacy and know-how. Canada provides clarity and climate leadership. This partnership reimagines transatlantic innovation with trust at its core. Number 6. Germany. April brought a response from Berlin, retaliatory car tariffs aimed at Washington. But what followed was even more significant. $4.8 billion in redirected export guarantees now flowing into Canada's green economy. The Transatlantic Green Alliance, launched that same month, pairs Germany's legendary engineering with Canada's renewable energy drive. That includes $2.1 billion for a hydrogen pipeline stretching from Vancouver to Calgary, co-built by German infrastructure firms and Canadian utilities. It's leak-proof, high-pressure, and key to future energy security. In Quebec, $1.7 billion is building a cutting-edge battery recycling plant using German circular economy methods combined with Canada's critical mineral access, one of the most advanced globally. And to seal it, Canada's pension giant and Germany's sovereign fund each dropped $500 million into constructing the world's first green steel facility in Newfoundland. Germany gains policy consistency. Canada gets next-level tech and investment. Together, they're anchoring the global clean energy future. Number 5. United Kingdom. In March, Trump's Made in America policy blocked British banks from U.S. bond auctions and created regulatory chaos. Within a month, $4.5 billion in UK fund flows quietly shifted to Canada. Ottawa moved fast, creating a transatlantic finance accord, giving British banks passport-like access to Canadian capital markets, aligning green bond standards, and streamlining compliance. Almost instantly, $1.5 billion backed the Bank of Canada's digital currency. Pilot $800 million helped fund Ontario's offshore wind bond issue. $1.2 billion fueled Canada-UK green infrastructure, including real-time carbon capture on Nova Scotia wind farms. The Royal Bank of Scotland even opened its first North American HQ in Toronto, with a $900 million bet on cross-border payments and digital assets. UK investors get stability and speed. Canada gains momentum in sustainable finance. This is money in motion, guided by mutual confidence. Number 4. South Korea. May brought frustration to Seoul. Erratic U.S. export rules and defense cuts led to a decisive shift. $5.7 billion in Korean high-tech investment was rerouted straight into Canada's innovation sector. Months of behind-the-scenes talks laid the groundwork for the Polar Tech Alliance. Already, $1.7 billion has gone into a drone production hub in Nova Scotia, marrying Korean cold weather engineering with Canadian avionics, aimed at Arctic monitoring, pipeline inspection, and disaster aid. Another $2 billion funds fuel cell development in Vancouver, powering both Korea's green shipping future and Canada's clean energy vision. And $1 billion ensures Korean participation in Canada's Arctic satellite program, handling manufacturing and data analytics from end to end. Korea gets IP protection and policy reliability. Canada gains unmatched R&D strength. This isn't tech cooperation, it's innovation by design. Number 3, Australia. In April, facing abrupt U.S. mineral tariffs and climate backpedals, Australia's top resource firms shifted $6.1 billion to Canadian energy and mining projects. That same month, Ottawa responded with the Pacific Resource Accord, fast-tracking approvals for Australian-led lithium and rare earth mining in Quebec and Manitoba. Within weeks, $2.3 billion went to a cutting-edge lithium refinery in Saguenay. $2.1 billion helped launch Alberta's pilot green hydrogen plant, combining Aussie electrolyzers with Canadian wind power. Beyond extraction, Australia's sovereign wealth fund also invested $1.7 billion in a clean cargo project, digitizing Canada's Pacific ports and creating zero-emissions shipping lanes to Asia. Every agreement comes with insulation against sudden tariff hikes. Australia finds a stable partner. Canada gets critical minerals and energy innovation. This is a Pacific alliance built for the 21st century. Number 2. India. March saw New Delhi pull the trigger on the Canada-India Strategic Growth Framework, rerouting $9.2 billion from the U.S. to Canadian ventures after U.S. visa rules and service tariffs destabilized trust. The results? $4 billion launched joint hydrogen facilities in Alberta, merging Indian solar to hydrogen methods with Canadian wind. $3.1 billion co-developed AI healthcare platforms now serving millions in Ontario, and Maharashtra. $2.1 billion created a digital finance link between Toronto and Bengaluru, connecting investors and Indian-Canadian banking. These aren't experiments. They're 25-year partnerships with built-in stability boards to weather political changes. India secures reliable immigration, capital return, and tech transfer. Canada accesses India's scale and growth engine. Together, they're building a global corridor of collaboration. Number 1. Japan. In February, Tokyo made headlines when it diverted $6.3 billion in tech and defense funds away from the U.S. in response to chaotic semiconductor restrictions. Ottawa stepped up with the Pacific Innovation Corridor, accelerating Japanese investment in robotics, quantum computing, and fuel cell shipping. Already in motion, $3.3 billion for a robotics R&D campus in Waterloo, pairing Toyota engineers with Shopify AI developers. $2 billion for a Canada-Japan quantum center in Vancouver, combining hardware and theoretical research to race toward fault-tolerant systems. $1 billion for hydrogen-powered cargo vessels based in Halifax, pioneering a zero-carbon shipping model across the Pacific. Japan gets access to predictable markets. Canada gets a gateway into Asia's high-tech ecosystem. It's a mutual upgrade, engineered for the future. Canada's subtle shift is anything but minor. This isn't just about investment, it's about a realignment of global alliances. 7 major U.S. allies have chosen Canada's steady hand over Washington's unpredictability. From fashion tech in Toronto to clean cargo out of Halifax, these moves mark a new blueprint for Western collaboration. Which of these pivots caught you off guard? And what does this say about the future of North American influence? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I read them all. If this gave you a new lens on global power moves, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a breakdown. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.